Tonight, the 19th-ranked Gators meet the 7th-rated Wildcats in a game that will likely determine the champion in the SEC East. Florida climbed over Kentucky 59-57 earlier this year on their way to the top in front of a record crowd at the O'Connell Center. But Lon Kruger's team now has to face the frenzy of Rupp Arena, where Patino's Cats have lost only 2 league games in 5 years. Tonight, the Eastern Division Showdown, Florida and Kentucky next.
Jefferson Pilot Sports presents the best in regional college basketball. The Southeastern Conference. Today's game is brought to you by BP Super 93, BP's best choice in quality gasoline. By Delta Airlines, you'll love the way we fly. By the all-new Ford Mustang, it is what it was. By MCI, the company that brings you proof positive. And by the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company, the vision to power your dreams.
From Rupp Arena in Lexington, it's Southeastern Conference basketball. Tonight, the Florida Gators take on the Kentucky Wildcats. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rupp Arena. Sold out, 24,000 on hand for tonight's showdown. Senior night festivities have just concluded. The team's taking a second warm-up now in preparation for this huge game. With 2 games to play, the SEC East has come down to this. Florida and Kentucky with identical records, both overall and in league play, with 2 games left. Tonight's game, and then the Gators will return home to host Tennessee, while Kentucky hits the road at South Carolina. Both will be favored in their games on Saturday, so tonight's game could be decisive. Tom Hammond joined by former Vanderbilt star Barry Booker for tonight's game. Barry will see the matchup of 2 of the best backcourt tandems in the SEC tonight. That could be a standoff, which means that the advantage perhaps goes to Florida on the inside.
That's right. Florida really can and needs to take advantage of the inside play of Andrew DeClerc and Dametri Hill. Those 2 guys did a great job down in Gainesville, and their rebounding effort is a big part of why they were able to win that ball game. DeClerc, in fact, got 20 rebounds down in Florida, so that's going to be a key.
There is a big question mark tonight concerning Kentucky point guard Travis Ford. He strained his right hamstring Sunday afternoon against Georgia. He will start tonight, but how long he can play is still open to question. And Barry, this has been senior night. Ford and the other 4 Kentucky seniors honored. What about the emotion? How does that carry over?
Well, sometimes the team can get caught up a little bit in the emotion and the hugs of a senior night in their last home game of the season. But I think Kentucky will settle down and get into their ball game. And when they do, I think a key will be Roderick Rhodes. He will be able to get advantages inside the way Florida switches in their defense. So he can take advantage of some size advantage down inside.
So the stage is set for the Eastern Division Showdown, Florida and Kentucky. And just a few moments ago, one of the most moving ceremonies in all of collegiate athletics, the singing of My Old Kentucky Home in honor of the Kentucky seniors.
The corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day.
Kentucky and Florida set to go after it. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the visiting Gators. They'll line up this way. Brian Thompson splits time with Jason Anderson at the small forward. DeClerc had a monster board game in the win over Kentucky earlier, 20 rebounds. Hill, 6'7", 290, can be counted on to muscle the thinner Cats inside. And Brown and Cross rated among the 5 best guard tandems in college basketball by Rick Patino. 10 times they've combined for more than 35 points in a game. And Lon Kruger, a candidate for National Coach of the Year after taking the Gators to a top 20 ranking for the first time in 6 years, to a record number of regular season wins and a shot at the SEC regular season championship. Travis Ford, one of the Kentucky seniors, bursting through the hoop prior to the game and the introduction of the lineups as the seniors were honored. Cats line up this way. Rhodes rapidly maturing in the latter part of this season, starting to fulfill those great expectations. Averages 14 points, 4 boards a game. McCarty like a spindly colt, 6'9", 210. He'll need to play big tonight. Riddick has been more consistent lately, second in the league in block shots. And the Wildcats with a potent backcourt of their own. Delk leads the team in scoring at 16 a game. Ford tops the SEC in assists. And Rick Patino, he's done an excellent coaching job as well. What about regrouping the team since the Wildcats lost their chief inside presence, Rodney Dent, on January 4th, now maturing the Cats season in the crucible of adversity as the postseason approaches. And a key sub inside for the Wildcats tonight, Jamel Martinez, one of the seniors honored before tonight's game. Opening tip coming up. He would have been one of the Kentucky seniors honored tonight had he not elected to go early to the NBA. Jamal Mashburn in attendance tonight for this crucial contest between Kentucky and Florida. Kind of scary to think what the Wildcats would have been with Jamal this season.
It really is. They've had such a great season, and also losing Rodney Dent this year. What might have been is extremely scary, but they're doing okay.
Kentucky leads the series, and only 5 times have the Gators won in Lexington overall. Not just in Rupp Arena, but in Lexington, period. Henry Thomas and Rodney Dent, 2 of the seniors unable to play, injured, that were honored tonight. And the Wildcats have the opening tap.
We'll see if Kentucky can settle in early and really get into the flow of this ball game quickly and forget about the emotion of senior night.
Delk fakes, fires from 15. Couldn't roll. McCarty almost tapped it in, but Hill with a rebound for the Gators. Cross quickly runs down court. Nearly lost it. Hill, DeClerc inside. And Florida scores as they go to that powerful inside game.
Nice head fake by DeClerc to get that basket. And Florida's not a real running team, but they're kind of sneaky with it. They'll get out on you when you're not expecting it.
DeClerc checking McCarty, and a baseline drive results in a foul on Andrew DeClerc. First foul of the game.
That's not a good sign for the Florida Gators. They want to play a physical game, bump players as they're coming off their cuts, and just really push Kentucky around as much as they can. So a closely called game will not help them.
Delk can't hit the baseline jumper. Rebounded by Thompson with a quick outlet to Cross. Rhodes nearly had a steal. Thompson recovers. From 12, he hits.
Nice touch by Brian Thompson on that play.
Gators hit their first 2. Riddick on Hill. Came up short, and Thompson with another rebound.
Very good start for Florida. Senior night can throw off the visitors' teams as well, taking them out of their routine, but Florida's looking good so far.
They've hit their first 2 shots. This is their 3rd possession. Ford doubling down on Hill. Now goes to find his man. And a holding foul will be Kentucky's first personal. It's on McCarty.
You see Florida being patient, trying to take the ball inside. That game earlier in Gainesville was a 59-57 affair, so they like to keep it in a half-court setting and play a low-scoring ball game.
Saw Gerald Boudreau joined by the other 2 SEC officials calling tonight's game. Brown penetrates, tried to dish to DeClerc, broken up by McCarty.
That's what Craig Brown and Dan Cross do so well, is the penetration, taking the ball inside, trying to draw defenders. Here's Brown going to the basket, just unable to deliver it to DeClerc.
We've played 2 minutes at Rupp Arena. Florida leading 4-0. Brown to Hill. Jump hook. They call it the meat hook. It wouldn't go. Delk has it.
Tough break that time for Big Dametri.
McCarty for 3. Riddick kept it alive, but it's taken by Cross. Kentucky gets back on defense. Brown checked by Ford. And a deflection and steal by Kentucky. McCarty has it. I think Ford is the man to deflect it. And then he throws it away. Cross picks it off. Cross pulls up. An 18-footer is there.
No one picked him up, so he pulls up just inside the three-point arc and drops it right in.
And the Gators lead 6-0 on the Wildcats. Kentucky has gone over 2 minutes without a point before Rhodes hits a 3.
Big shot for Roderick Rhodes and the Wildcats to get on the scoreboard tonight.
They went over 2.5 before getting on the board. Hill double teamed. Got rid of it to Cross for 3.
Dan Cross with that quick release is the leading three-point shooter percentage-wise in the SEC.
50% shooter from three-point range is Cross. And 1 for 1 tonight. Kentucky turns it over. And into the game for the first time, another of the seniors who was honored before the contest, Jeff Brasso, who has overcome numerous knee injuries to play for the Wildcats. He replaces Delk. Kentucky struggling in the early going, and Florida playing very well. Florida, the best defensive team in the SEC. They held Kentucky to only 35% shooting in their win in Gainesville. Hill inside, hard to stop him.
He's got some grace in him. That nice off 1 foot little hook shot down low, easy basket.
8-point lead.
Florida really taking it inside to the Wildcats.
Rhodes called for a travel. Kentucky's 3rd turnover. So in the early going, it's been Dan Cross and Dametri Hill leading the Gators. 16-11 left, and Florida over Kentucky 11-3. Welcome back to Rupp Arena, where Rick Patino tries to rally his troops. It's been normal lately for the Wildcats to trail early, and they're down 8. They've hit only 1 of their first 6 shots, while the Gators have blistered the net 5 of their first 6. And if March Madness is here, those are obviously what Martinez fans, I guess. Yes,
Martinez amigos.
Almost a steal. Cuisma into the game for the Gators. Hill over Riddick, and Dametri Hill has his 4th point. And the Gators stretch their lead to 10.
Soft touch by Dametri Hill as Florida continues to go inside.
They've hit 6 of their 7 shots.
And Kentucky's a little tight so far. Coach Patino tried to yell that out of him during that timeout.
Rhodes inside, blocked by Cuisma, out of bounds to the Wildcats. Jared Prickett is in the game for Kentucky, the Wildcats' leading rebounder.
Look at Rhodes surrounded down inside. Cuisma deflects it out of bounds.
And here's Prickett quickly to the basket, couldn't hit. Second time it wouldn't go down. He missed 2 right underneath, and then a foul on the rebound. Kentucky cannot buy one.
Prickett brings some inside strength for the Wildcats. That should help them defensively, but they are extremely tight so far tonight.
Foul was on Roderick Rhodes, his first, 2 against the Wildcats. Williams into the game in the backcourt for the Gators, guarded by Ford. Quick shot is by Thompson in there. And on the other end, the Gators can't miss. They're 7 of 8. Rhodes, 3-pointer, won't go. Out of bounds. Last touched by Prickett of Kentucky.
Quick shot by Roderick Rhodes. Maybe a little desperation early already by the Wildcats as they're down 12 with 15 minutes to play in the first half and just struggling completely as Coach Patino goes to the bench.
Svein Dirkelboten replaces Dametri Hill as Kentucky has hit only 1 of its first 10 shots.
And the 5 starters are out of the ball game for the Wildcats right now.
Epps has come in the backcourt. Only McCarty among the starters is there, and Brasso picks off the pass and then is fouled by Cuisma. Well, often, Barry, you see the defense jumpstart the offense. That's what Patino's hoping for here.
That's right. This is a way to get some easy baskets and to get yourself rolling offensively as the double team comes to Cross. Brasso with the hustle getting on the floor.
Anthony Epps, a freshman who has really come into his own the last couple of games. Martinez with a tray. Martinez and Rhodes with 3-pointers, the only buckets Kentucky has.
Gives the crowd a little something to cheer about.
Cross falls down, lost the ball, jump called. Fans are booing. They thought it should have been a traveling call. Instead, it's a held ball, and the possession arrow will give it to Florida.
The Kentucky press is really picking up. Coach Patino getting intense along the sidelines, and they've forced Florida into a couple of turnovers the last 2 trips.
Patino trying to transfer that obvious intensity to his team. They trail 15-6. Williams left open, and then At the last minute, he's fouled by Martinez. Martinez trying to help out, hacked him on the arm.
Williams got a screen and came across with that jump shot in that situation. The coaches hate to see you foul a jump shooter, but that's good for Kentucky. They're being aggressive right now, and they're trying to get after it a little more.
Cross sits down as Craig Brown comes in. Lon Kruger shuttling his troops in and out, trying to keep fresh bodies there in the face of the Kentucky pressure defense. And Tiny Williams sinks the first free throw. Greg Williams, 6'2" freshman from Fairfax, Virginia, averages only 2 a game. He broke Tommy Amaker's Woodson High School assist record, over 600 of them.
Good point guard. Gives Florida some good minutes at the point guard position off the bench.
And the Gators up their lead to 17-6. Grasso for 3. Short. Martinez kept it alive, but right to Florida. Fans again wanted a foul, no whistle. Brown launches a 3 on target. Craig Brown. And with 14 minutes left in the first half, a 14-point Florida lead.
Tough shot that time by Brown. Under some serious defensive pressure, he puts it in.
Grasso through traffic, can't hit. And a pushing foul called against Brian Thompson of Florida. That's his second foul. Excuse me, his first foul.
The Gators have the numbers in this situation. A 4-on-3 break. Brown pulls up off the screen from Dirklebolton, and he puts it in. Craig Brown, tough shot.
Florida has missed only 1, and Kentucky has struggled.
You shoot 89%, you're gonna do well. And Florida's doing it so far.
But Kentucky also knows that they must eventually cool off. Although if they keep getting them inside, it'll be tough to stop them. Delk returns and immediately fires a 3. Prickett off the offensive board, can't get it down. McCarty, his follow shot is good.
Look at the Wildcats go to the glass. There were 4 guys above the rim that time for Kentucky going after that basketball. Look at them all up there. McCarty comes up with it, drops it in easily. The Cats are starting to relax.
Williams beats the pressure down court. McCarty went for the steal there, couldn't quite get it. Dirklebolton gives Brown a screen, shoots off of it, and again he hits.
Another tough shot for Florida as Craig Brown hits that one over Prickett.
5 points for Brown.
Kentucky's gone a big lineup here with Martinez, McCarty, and Prickett in the ball game.
Martinez for 3. Front rim no good. Rebounded by the Gators, Jason Anderson. Dirklebolton fighting Prickett for position, gets the entry pass, comes back outside with it. DeClercq against Martinez. Tried an inside pass that was deflected out of bounds off a Gator, and the Wildcats will get it. 3 turnovers now by Florida. Craig Brown trying to make it happen for the Gators. They turn it over, and Kentucky with the ball down 22-8. There's a push and a hold inside. It'll be whistled against Florida and will be the Gators' 4th team foul. It's on Andrew DeClercq, his 2nd personal foul.
You see Kentucky trying to take a page out of the Gators' game plan by taking the ball inside. They're not scoring any points, only 8 points to this point in the first half. So they're going to try and take the ball inside a little bit more and get some easier shots.
McCarty leaves the game along with Epps as Ford comes back and Rhodes. And DeClercq sits on the Florida bench with 2 quick fouls. Martinez from 15. Delk made the pass. Martinez made the bucket, his 5th point.
Got the quickness back on the court for Kentucky right now.
Cross ducks out of the trap. Kuzma for 3.
3 for Kuzma.
Marty Kuzma off the Florida bench hits a tray and the lead to 15. That's the Gators' biggest.
Craig Brown with a nice delivery there for Kuzma on the wide open three-pointer.
Martinez three-pointer. Back rim. Rebounded by Anderson. Gators doing everything right.
Kentucky still settling for three-point shots. They need to take it inside a little more.
Cross lost it. Here's the lead pass to Delk. 2-on-2. Delk pulls up and scores.
There's an easy one for the Wildcats. A little 17-footer.
Rhodes deflects the ball out of bounds as he dives across the baseline. The Gators will get it back. 11:02 left in the game. Florida putting it to Kentucky 25-12. 25-12, Florida advantage with 11:02 left. That was a TV timeout, but the first timeout of the game was a Kentucky timeout, so the Wildcats have only 2 left. The shooting continues to go in opposite directions.
Florida burning up the nets here early. They're just wearing it out on Kentucky as they are ice cold, and it's not so much the Florida defense as was the case in Gainesville. Kentucky is just not putting it in the basket.
So Dan Cross and the Florida Gators doing a number on the Wildcats here on senior night. Cross has 5 points. Craig Brown, his backcourt running mate, has 5 as well. Traveling call. The Gators will turn it over. Turnover number 5 now against Florida.
The defensive intensity picking up for the Wildcats right now. They're really getting after it.
Sunday's game against Georgia, Bulldogs and the Wildcats tied at halftime, and it was, as you see the turnovers, Kentucky's blistering defense that turned the game around as they reeled off 18 straight points to start the second half.
The Gators expect those kinds of runs. They know Kentucky's going to get after them on defense.
Rhodes has a shot rejected by Hill.
Tremendous block.
Now Hill on the offensive end. He's back outside with it.
See Dan Cross trying to post up Travis Ford.
Hill against Prickett. Gets the double team from Martinez. Can't score. Batted around to Ford of Kentucky. Prickett the trailer. Moving on Hill. Ducks under and travels. That's 4 turnovers committed by the Wildcats. Announcers for this game selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. Any use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Pushing foul called on Travis Ford of Kentucky.
The Gators are really starting to have trouble against the Kentucky pressure. Kentucky's trying to get on one of those patented runs of theirs where their defense just turns you over.
4 team fouls on the Wildcats. Cross easily dribbles away from Prickett. Hill could have shuffled his feet. No whistle. And he puts in the short hook.
Dametri Hill on a roll so far tonight.
Don't say roll about Dametri.
Hey, I didn't start it this time.
He has 6 points. Martinez for 3. Cross all alone for the rebound. Cross with a pretty fake and got the roll. Dan Cross gives the Gators their biggest lead. Florida's up 17 on Kentucky.
Dan Cross, a legitimate SEC Player of the Year candidate. He does that so well.
Martinez with the miss of Rhodes. Back to Delk. Tony Delk.
Awfully quiet in Rupp Arena so far this evening. The crowd a little shocked.
Deflected out of bounds by Kentucky.
Here's Dan Cross penetrating into the middle with that head fake on Delk. Dropped it in nicely. Those Gator guards are so tough going to the basket and pulling up with that little 12 to 15 footer.
court by Rhodes.
Yet another foul on Kentucky. They're trying to be aggressive, trying to get something happening for themselves here tonight. Another foul, and they're up to 5 team fouls right now.
Second foul on Roderick Rhodes. Patino didn't like it.
Patino normally takes players out in the first half when they have 2 fouls. We'll see what he does with Rhodes here as he's down by 15.
Too far down to risk it now, probably. Going to gamble a little bit.
May have to.
Well, they've been known as the comeback Cats for their comebacks at LSU and at Tennessee. They'll have to do it again tonight on their home court as Florida has blistered them early. Cross. Follow shot by Thompson, no good. And they'll wave that basket off. No basket. Foul on the Gators.
Tough break for Derkelboten right there. He really hustled going after the basketball. Here's a shot by Thompson from the corner. Derkelboten going for the basketball. Nice tap. Gets it down. Won't get the bucket.
He was over the back for his first foul. Team fouls all even at 5. Kruger's team, though, leads 29-14. Ford nearly walked. Dump it inside to Delk. Cut off by Derkelboten. Twice he got it up. No good. Derkelboten clears the rebound.
Excellent defense by Derkelboten. He's straight up playing good D.
Williams hammered inside.
Technical foul called.
A technical foul called on the Kentucky bench, as well as a personal foul. Rick Patino has been 2 seasons without a technical foul. He's whistled for the tee here.
Here's Williams driving to the basket. And Kentucky extremely upset because at the other end, they didn't get the calls when Derkelboten was playing good defense against the Wildcats, against Tony Delk, as he was going to the basket. A lot of body contact on that play.
Martinez with his second foul. Williams hits the first free throw. Misses the second.
I think Jamel may have picked up the technical as well. No, it is on the bench.
Number 12, Dan Cross. For Kentucky, Andre Whitting will step in the lineup.
Patino is still hot. So Dan Cross will shoot the free throws. He is only the 3rd best in the SEC, and he misses. 86% as Patino continues to argue his case. Cross hits the second, and the lead is 31-14. The Florida Gators have sprinted to a 17-point lead on Kentucky with 7:37 left in this decisive game. In a game that could decide the SEC East champion, the first half has belonged exclusively to the Florida Gators. Rick Patino just picking up a technical foul, his first in 2 seasons, and the Wildcats trail 31-14.
Cool Rick was incensed a few moments ago as Kentucky not getting the calls on their end of the court, but Florida picking up some fouls on the Wildcats.
Great shooting by the Gators, dismal by the Wildcats.
Unbelievable shooting by the Gators so far tonight.
Thompson continues it for Florida. They can't miss.
Thompson just backs Travis Ford toward the basket, turns and shoots right over him.
Florida is 13 for 16 overall. 7 minutes left in the first half from Rupp Arena. Kliesma deflects the ball. Kentucky gets it back with 5 on the shot clock. Delk back to McCarty, got it away and hit a 3.
Big basket for Kentucky. Florida had an excellent defensive sequence, but as the horn was about to go off, McCarty drops in that 3-pointer.
And the crowd trying to lift the Wildcats. Thompson pulls up, can't hit this one. McCarty slapped it. And a foul on Kentucky. That'll be 7 against the Wildcats. So Florida will shoot the bonus for the last 6:20 of the half. First foul on Kentucky, Andre Riddick.
And the line for Florida is Beavers from Bolton. They'll shoot 1 in the bonus.
Dirkle Bolton to shoot 1+1. Gators have hit 4 of their 6 free throws. Kentucky has not attempted one. Florida, an excellent free throw shooting team, 71.5%, third in the SEC. Brown awaiting his return as Dirkle Bolton hits 2.
You can see Dirkle Bolton's name as he shot that foul shot. They say he needs to take a trip to the Wheel of Fortune to buy a vowel or 2. Only 2 vowels in that 10-letter name. Spain, the eye chart, Dirkle Bolt.
From Bergen, Norway, and basking in the success of the Olympic Winter Games in Lillehammer. Not only did the Norwegians top the medal count, but by all accounts did a fantastic job of hosting the games.
I talked to him a little bit this morning. He said he was so busy with his engineering work and with basketball that he didn't get a chance to watch very much of the Olympics this year.
Thompson with a kick reset the shot clock. And with an even 6 minutes remaining in the half, Kentucky gets it down 35-17. McCarty on the high post. Delk penetrates, pulls up, and scores.
Nice move by Tony Delk. Not settling for the three-pointer, penetrating, putting that little 10-footer in.
And then he causes Williams to travel. 7th Gator turnover. Tony Delk playing offense and defense. He has 6 points. Causes a Florida miscue.
And with this lineup for Kentucky, they're going to have to get scoring from their perimeter players. Not necessarily three-pointers, but scoring from those guys.
Inbounds pass deflected and stolen by the Gators. Hill wide open.
Dametri Hill is burning it up so far tonight, and a great pass by Craig Brown to find him wide open.
The onslaught continues. Delk for 3.
A long 3 for Tony Delk, standing on the NBA three-point line.
9 first-half points for Delk, keeping Kentucky within striking distance, but they're still down 15. Thompson. Delk with a rebound. Tony Delk doing it all at the moment. Lead pass for Ford in front court. He has Riddick for the layup.
There's Kentucky getting some points, going to the basket in transition. It's just what they need right now to get a lift.
Brown stolen by McCarty. Kentucky with the numbers. McCarty intercepted by Thompson, who lost it out of bounds. McCarty should have given it up.
He definitely should have given it up around the half-court line. Here's Travis Ford showing what he can do with the basketball in transition, delivering the ball to Andre Riddick. And if McCarty had given it to Ford that time, he probably ends up with a basket at the other end.
Kentucky trying to launch a little run with 4:28 left in the half. Delk has been hot, leaves it for Brasso. That's a 3. Prickett with a follow.
Kentucky's starting to get it going right now. Beautiful pass from Tony Delk to Brasso, and then Prickett cleans up.
Steal by Riddick. Prickett got it. The lead is 9. Brown way back of the arc. Came up short. Brasso had it knocked away. Anderson with a slam.
Nice move. Jason Anderson down the lane. No one stopped him, so he slammed it right through.
His first bucket. Delk floats, can't score. Hill all alone for the rebound.
Just when it looks like Kentucky's about to go on a big run and get back into the ball game, Florida weathers it, stops it, and now they've slowed the game down again.
Gators by 11. Clock approaching the 3-minute mark. 9-2 Kentucky run over the last couple of minutes. Brown to Hill, muscles it up. No good. Tapped in by Anderson.
Jason Anderson, a couple of nice plays the last 2 trips for the Gators, getting 2 baskets.
Riddick on the low post against Hill. Jump hook is there.
Great job for Kentucky. They're starting to go to the basket right now and getting some easier shots.
Back to 11 as they trap Hill in backcourt. The big man dribbles out of it, and Cross saves it for the Gators.
Look at those quick feet from Dametri Hill handling that basketball. Florida sees the mismatch. Jason Anderson matched up against Travis Ford. They have Anderson on the block trying to get the ball to him.
Instead, Kuzma from outside. That's a miss. Rebounded by Brasso. Didn't take advantage of the mismatch. Delk against Brown. Riddick flashes it back to Travis Ford. Got a screen from Prickett. His 3 is good. Travis Ford hits his first shot of the game.
Big shot for Ford.
Kentucky's within 8.
Florida slows it down again.
Hill, too hard. Prickett with a rebound, and Hill's on his back for the foul.
Jared Prickett has come off the bench and played extremely well so far tonight. Doing a great job for the Cats on the board. And good defense against Dametri Hill right there. Hill has been stroking it so far. Prickett stops it on that play.
Kentucky has come back within 8. 1:35 left in the half. Back after this from Miller. Genuine look at an MCI proof positive replay.
Here you're going to see Tony Delk with a little penetration, leaving it for Brasso, and Kentucky hitting the boards. Prickett dropping it in, and now the pressure. Kentucky scores, and they can set up their pressure defense, and they're going to come up with a steal and another basket inside for Prickett. And that's proof positive that when Kentucky gets baskets or shoots the ball going to the basket, good things happen, and their pressure defense jump-starts their offense.
Kentucky at one time trailed by 19. Over the last just less than 4 minutes, they've gone on a 14-2 run. Chris Harrison, the first time in the game, loses it. And Williams finishes on the other end, and a foul on Travis Ford.
And Jason Anderson is fired up with good reason. He just came up with a big defensive play, taking the ball away and pushing it to the other end, and Greg Williams with the finish, going to the line. Excellent play by Jason Anderson.
Not a smart play by Travis Ford to foul him, and Chris Harrison got not much playing time. First time he touched the ball, he lost it, which could be a 3-point Florida play. Stay with us at halftime. We'll have the Volkswagen SEC Women's Report as the women approach tourney time in Chattanooga this weekend. Williams does complete the 3-point trip. That quiets the crowd somewhat and pushes the Gator lead back to 11 as we approach the 1-minute mark.
Very important the way these two teams close the first half. That could be critical and give one team momentum going into the second half.
Epps has replaced Ford at the point for Kentucky as Martinez misses inside. McCarty kept it alive, and then a Florida foul. Dirk Bolton of the Gators, I believe. No, let's see. It's on Williams. Greg Williams committing the foul, his first, number 7 on the Gators.
And once again, you see when Kentucky takes the ball inside, good things are happening. Martinez with a shot that won't go down, but they come up with a rebound, and McCarty ends up on the foul line.
This is Kentucky's first free throw of the game, and he back rims it no good. Inside the final minute. First half has been a blitz for the Florida Gators. Anderson right around Epps. Got help, though, and the shot blocked by Martinez.
Over penetration that time for Jason Anderson. Went a little bit too far. 3 Wildcats picked him up on that trip.
Kentucky can hold for the final shot of the half. Delk split the double team and then was fouled with 2.4 seconds left.
Nice move that time by Tony Delk, knifing his way toward the basket. Anderson trying to come up with a big defensive play, unable to get the block. Look at him split that double team, getting to the basket.
First foul on Dan Cross. Tony Delk's scoring has kept Kentucky in the game in the first half. He has 9 as he steps to the stripe. Kentucky 0 for 2. First half free throws. Coming up this Saturday, we'll check the Wildcats as they move to South Carolina in the first of 2. Second game in the West, Mississippi State against Arkansas. Razorbacks trying to nail down the regular season SEC championship. 9.9 seconds left as Delk deflects the ball out of bounds.
March 2nd, we got the SEC East title on the line. March Madness going.
Cross gets a shot away, but way off target as the first half comes to an end. Patino and his troops shocked by the Gators in the first half. Florida whipping the Wildcats decisively in the first 20 minutes. At halftime, though, they only lead by 10.
SEC basketball is brought to you.
Florida Gators not intimidated at all by Rupp Arena as they come in and play a near flawless first half. At one time they led by 19. The Wildcats managed to get it back to 10 here at halftime, and you have to wonder if the first few minutes of the second half won't be decisive, as Florida knows another Kentucky run is coming.
And Kentucky has done a great job starting the second half all season, as evidenced by Sunday when they played Georgia and got off to a great start and really put that game away at the beginning of the second half.
Hard to imagine a better first half than the one the Gators had.
Oh, it's been great. Florida is putting everything they throw up in the basket. They're looking very good so far, and I don't think they can play any better.
Florida hitting 17 of 27 shots in that first half. And the Gators with a 10-point lead on the Wildcats here at intermission as we pause to take a look at some SEC best plays of the week.
Now it's time for our Hershey's Plays of the Week. Our nuttiest play of the week brought to you by Hershey's Mr. Goodbar, a nuttier bar for nuttier times. Jared Prickett of Kentucky loses the ball. Bernard Davis scoops it to Ty Wilson, who after all that misses the layup and gets hit in the head with the ball. Our best play of the week, bar none, brought to you by Hershey's Bar None Candy Bar, the one with more. Shandon Anderson, with a man on his back and a man on his arm, gets the shot to go. What a play.
Winner of the game will be in the driver's seat in the SEC East, a one-game lead with 1 left to play. And at half to Rupp Arena, we're at halftime where Florida leads Kentucky by 10 points. The Gators with that trademark defense, they held Kentucky to 35% field goals in their win in Gainesville, and similar effort here in the first half, while the Gators themselves were scorching the nets. Barry, take us through our forward halftime stats.
All right. You see, as Tom mentioned, the key here, Florida shooting 63% to Kentucky's 37%. Free throws, Florida getting to the line as they're taking the ball inside a little bit more than Kentucky. And the three-pointers, you see Kentucky with 13 attempts. That may be a few too many for the Wildcats. They need to get the ball inside a little bit more. Doing a great job on the boards, though. It's 16 rebounds for Kentucky to 17 for Florida. And second chance points, Kentucky has a 2-point edge there. Now a couple of highlights from the first half. Tony Delk going to the basket, pulling up with that short jumper over Hill. He has 10 points in the first half and really doing a good job for the Wildcats, keeping them close. And of course for Florida, they're excellent guards. Here's Dan Cross going to the basket with a little 12-footer of his own over Tony Delk, as the Gators have played outstanding basketball here in the first half.
Big crowd at Rupp Arena earlier said goodbye to the seniors. They may be saying goodbye to the SEC East title unless their Wildcats can rally in the second.
Jefferson Pilot Sports exclusive coverage of SEC basketball is brought to you by Delta Airlines. You'll love the way we fly. By Pizza Hut, who reminds you that anytime's a great time to stop and smell the pizza. by Gillette Sensor and the Gillette Series. Gillette, the best a man can get. By your local Agri-Center dealer, coming through for you. And by Nationwide Insurance. Check the yellow pages for the Nationwide agent nearest you.
Tom Hammond, Barry Booker back at Rupp Arena. These have been the comeback Cats. They've come back from adversity all season long, really.
You're right. They start off with a difficult schedule with the likes of Louisville, Indiana, Syracuse, and UMass. Then their best inside player, Rodney Dent, is injured on January 4th. They get down 31 at LSU and come back and win that one. Then they only take 8 players to Knoxville to face Tennessee and come out with a win in that one. We're going to find out if the Cats have used up all their lives so far this season.
And Florida's motto has been find a way. And in the first half, the Gators did find a way. They led by 19 at one point. They're ahead by 10 as we start the second half. And Dametri Hill clotheslines Travis Ford. So an immediate foul on Florida.
The Gators like to bump cutters as they come off screens to slow them down just a touch. That time Hill stuck a big arm out there and knocked down Ford on that play.
Starting lineups intact for both teams. No, Prickett is starting the second half for Kentucky in place of McCarty. That's the only change.
Prickett had an excellent first half for Kentucky coming off the bench.
Rhodes for 3. Prickett with an offensive board. Put back by Jared Prickett.
Prickett, the leading rebounder for the Wildcats. He's 6th in the SEC.
And a 5-second violation. Florida turns it over. This is the way the second half began Sunday against Georgia.
And Kentucky could not ask for a better start here in the second half. They get a basket, now a turnover. They're trying to cut into that 10-point halftime lead.
Travis Ford left open for the 3. Prickett again. Delk with a save.
Jared Prickett hitting the boards hard so far tonight.
Delk for 3. Riddick kept it alive. DeClerc on the floor. Knocked it out of bounds. Kentucky gets it back.
Kentucky hustling, going after the basketball. They're off to a great start here in the early moments of the second half.
Opening minute of the second half. Kentucky has scored 2 points. Florida hasn't had the ball yet. Prickett made a dangerous pass. Got away with it as Florida nudges it out of bounds.
Very fortunate to maintain possession on that play. Prickett, an ill-advised pass across that zone.
Ford finds Rhodes. Back to Travis for 3.
A three-pointer in any league. Travis Ford, a long-range bomb, pulls Kentucky within 5.
Wildcats score the first 5 points of the second half. Brown trapped. Deflected but saved by Thompson. Riddick over the back of DeClerc. Kentucky's first foul of the half.
Timeout.
And Lon Kruger wants to regroup a little bit as the Wildcats come out with one of their patented second half comebacks. They score the first 5 points of the second half, including this tray by Travis Ford from NBA range. Tonight's game brought to you in part by the new La Quinta Inns. You're not staying at a hotel, you're staying with us. And by the creators of Neon, proud sponsors of our 1994 U.S. Olympic team. From Rupp Arena, Tom Hammond, Barry Booker, 18:23 left in the game. 44-39 Florida leads, but Kentucky has scored the first 5 points of the second half. They've been 5 second chance points, too, as Jared Prickett has done a whale of a job on the offensive board. Gerald Boudreau calling Rick Patino and Lon Kruger to center court. I don't really know what they were conferring about, but everything seems to be in order.
Jared Prickett has 5 offensive rebounds and has been the key to Kentucky's run here in the second half.
Prickett knocks the ball out of bounds. 15 left on the shot clock for the Gators. Little nudge. Prickett and DeClerc. Kentucky in a zone defense at the moment. Hill muscling in. The jump hook won't go, and Riddick clears the rebound.
Great defense by Riddick that time to come up with a defensive play and get the rebound.
Delk fouled. Holding foul whistled on Florida's Brian Thompson. His second personal.
Kentucky playing with a lot of confidence right now, executing their offense, going after loose balls, and just really doing a great job as we start the second half.
Ford balances the floor now to set it up. Rhodes baseline move, left it for Prickett. He got it.
Nice pass, Roderick Rhodes, and a great catch by Prickett to come up with that ball and put it in.
8 points for Jared Prickett. Knocked out of bounds. Gators get it back.
Here's Prickett. He seems to be everywhere. And Rhodes with a wraparound pass inside. Prickett catches and converts.
And got an elbow from DeClerc as DeClerc retreated to put it out of bounds. But Craig Brown will quiet the crowd as he sinks a tray. Brown has 8 points. And the Gators back up by 6.
The first Florida points of the second half. A big basket by Craig Brown.
Travis Ford tries to answer, can't do it. Delk kept it alive, but is taken by the Gators' Thompson, and then a pushing foul on Rhodes of Kentucky, and that's his third. No, they called it on Prickett, excuse me. I said Rhodes. It's on Prickett.
You saw Travis Ford on that three-point attempt, a little bit off balance on that shot, unable to get it down.
Hill. Rebounded by Prickett. Here's the outlet to Delk. Tried to get Brasso, and it's picked off by Brown of Florida. Great anticipation. Here's Cross in a hurry. Ducks under and is fouled.
Dan Cross recognized that he had the numbers on that play. 3-on-2 for Florida. Cross just takes it as far as he can.
Travis Ford with his third foul.
You see Delk penetrate, try and pitch it out to Brasso. Craig Brown anticipates extremely well, comes up with that pass, and now Cross trying to take it coast to coast. He ends up at the foul line.
He'll shoot a pair. Greg Brown with the interception, and his backcourt running mate Dan Cross citing his second free throw, and he's in double figures. The lead 8 for the Gators.
Looks like the Gators have weathered another storm. The Wildcats make a run, the Gators hold.
Rhodes still on the dribble. Reach-in foul, Craig Brown of the Gators. Meanwhile, down in Baton Rouge, the Razorbacks have come storming back in the second half to go up 2 on the Tigers.
And the Tigers have kind of fallen apart. They've lost 6 in a row coming into tonight. They are really struggling.
Rhodes wide open on the inbounds pass. Somebody forgot him.
Don't forget about that guy. He can score from anywhere, shoot the threes, and he shows he can slam it too.
6-point game. Prickett of Kentucky whistled for the foul.
That is Prickett, his second.
Number 2 on Jared.
The pressure from the Wildcats becoming intense again.
Brown and a foul on Riddick. Andre Riddick of Kentucky whistled for number 2, and that's 4 against the Wildcats.
Jamel Martinez checks in.
Martinez in for Kentucky, replacing Riddick. Hill lost it, picked up by Prickett. Rhodes with a great fake. He's
fouled. The Kentucky pressure coming up with turnovers and getting easy baskets as they're closing in on the Gators.
Third foul on to Clerk. So Rhodes will shoot 2. 6 points for Roderick. Florida's turned it over 11 times in the game now. Missed the second one, kept alive and batted out of bounds. It'll go to Florida. Now the officials confer and change the call.
Coach Kruger disagrees. Coach Patino happy.
Kentucky down by 5 with the basketball. Just under 16 minutes left in this crucial game. Prickett turns, fires too hard. He got it back, but the Clerk swipes it away.
The Clerk picked up his 3rd foul on that last trip. That could be big.
Still in the game. Thompson. De Klerk's follow is good.
Gators hit the boards hard, and now they get the ball back.
Kentucky throws it away on the inbounds pass. Wildcats can't stand prosperity.
Don't want to make it look too easy tonight, apparently.
Anyone thought this was an automatic win for Kentucky because it was in Rupp Arena hasn't watched Florida play much this season. They are for real.
They're tough. They're hard-nosed. They play great defense, and they come to play every night.
Rhodes hit it last. Florida inevitably cooling off in the second half, and Kentucky stepping it up a notch.
Talking to a few of the Florida players today, and they said they were approaching this game just like any other. I know a little better with the Eastern Division title on the line. They know what's at stake here.
Thompson shot over Ford and then a push on the rebound.
Florida trying to go to that size mismatch with Travis Ford trying to guard Brian Thompson. Thompson gets the shot off. It didn't go, but he gets after the rebound and draws a foul on Ford. 4 fouls on Travis Ford. The SEC assist leader, Rick Patino, starting point guard, goes to the bench with 15-11 left in the game. Here's Thompson squeezing that shot off and then getting after the basketball. Ford with a little push-off with his right arm. A nice acting job by Brian Thompson to get the foul. Cross over Delk. Delk got a piece. Prickett hauls it down. Great D by Tony Delk on that play. So Anthony Epps, the freshman, thrust into the fire of this game at the point, replacing Ford. Delk, double pump, no good. Delk's follow is there. Goes to the left hand, uses the basket to shield his shot, and gets it down. Numbers on the Gators. Brown blocked by Riddick, but Verkelboten there to put it home. Nice break by Florida. They throw over the press and take it to the basket. Brown made a good decision to put the shot up. Riddick with a great deflection, but the Gators score with Verkelboten hustling. Florida leads by 7. Kentucky has never led in the game, down 19 in the first half. Riddick, good backside help from de Klerk, and the ball stolen by the Gators. Prickett trying to guard Cross. Cross made the head fake. Traveled. Walking call on Dan Cross of the Gators. Nullifies the basket. At the conclusion of the game, we'll be selecting a BP best player from each team. In addition to recognizing our 2 best players, BP and its dealers will contribute $2,000 to the Southeastern Conference to be distributed among the member institutions' general scholarship funds under a conference-approved plan. Second half, Georgia in Athens has retaken the lead against South Carolina. Delk is short.
And good position for the rebound by Anderson.
Tough shot by Tony Delk that time.
Anderson coast to coast. Called for the offensive foul. Prickett took the charge.
Another good play by Jared Prickett. He steps in and takes the charge. Anderson trying to take it all the way to the basket as Prickett sets up. Takes it right in the chest. Good play.
Second half at LSU. Arkansas maintaining a 2-point lead on the Tigers. Delk lost it. Brown. No good. Rebounded by Epps. And away from the ball, jockeying for position. Foul will be called on Florida. Dirklebolton, second foul, and 6 against the Gators now. Kentucky has committed 5.
Dirklebolton trying to body check Delk as he came off a screen, got caught.
Brown not happy as he heads to the bench, replaced by Cross. Epps had the 3, elected not to take it.
Epps has really played well for Kentucky lately.
This time he does shoot. Way off target, rebounded by Anderson.
He's filled in admirably for Travis Ford in the last few ball games. Doing a great job.
Travis Ford on the bench with 4 fouls. And Roderick Rhodes had just been called for his 3rd. Earlier this week, when there was speculation whether or not Ford would play, Rick Patino said Rhodes was the one man he had no replacement for. DeClerc cut off by Martinez. Dirklebolton posting Prickett. Flashes it back to Williams. Nice head fake. Got the shot away. No good. Dirklebolton tries to save it. Does to Delk of Kentucky.
Williams trying to draw the foul on that play, trying to jump into Tony Delk, but he missed him.
Epps for another 3. Cleared by DeClerc.
Big rebound by DeClerc. He really goes after the basketball and grabs it strongly.
12 minutes remaining.
That hurts.
Dan Cross of Florida called for the foul. They called it on DeClerc on the screen.
Yeah, DeClerc. Roderick Rhodes trying to fight through that screen just tripped over DeClerc's feet. DeClerc gets the cheap foul. He has 4 now, and he's going to have to come out.
So each team has a key player with 4 fouls. DeClerc with 4. Ford already out of the game for Kentucky with 4 personal fouls. The Wildcats have gone over 2.5 minutes without scoring.
It's a really big blow for the Gators. DeClerc going to the bench here with about 12 minutes to play as the Gators lead by 7.
In fact, neither team has scored over 4.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes, excuse me. Rhodes shooting for his 8th point. Got him down. We've got a timeout with 11:58 left in the game. Florida still in front. The Gators 53.
During a ball game, you never know which play is going to make the difference between your team winning and losing. And here, a little simple screen by Andrew DeClerc on Roderick Rhodes, and Rhodes gets his feet tangled up in DeClerc's. DeClerc gets the foul, his 4th, and he's on the bench with just under 12 minutes to play here in the second half. Could be a huge blow for the Gators.
I thought they'd called it on Cross as he was using his arm to shield as Rhodes went down. Shooting, excellent 3-point shooting by the Gators, and still good overall. Kentucky trying to climb up out of the hole they dug for themselves in the first half. Rebounds all even at 27. Kentucky has 16 offensive boards. Brown for 3. Hill wades in to get it and is fouled.
The Gators doing a nice job going to the offensive glass as Dametri Hill, the space eater inside, comes up with the basketball, and he ends up at the foul line.
Florida Gators bidding for a season sweep of the Wildcats and the inside track toward the SEC Eastern Division title. See Hill's totals.
Big Dametri Hill. They called him Blueberry Hill when he arrived at Florida. He was more like Blueberry Mountain as he weighed about in excess of 350 pounds. He has slimmed down to 286 and is playing very well for the Gators this year.
His 2 free throws put the lead back to 7. Prickett low post against Kuzma.
Jared Prickett continues to impress. Nice low post move, a little jump hook. Easy basket for the Wildcats.
Rhodes with a steal. Lays it in. Great play by Rhodes.
Beautiful play by Roderick Rhodes. The behind the back dribble, the pass fake. Great play.
Wildcats within 3. Cross trapped in the corner. Flings it the length of the court, and Delk picks it off. Rhodes passing inside to Epps, and here's Delk. Penetrates back to Martinez. Things a little wild on the half court.
Kentucky trying to make the big play off that steal. Now they settle down.
Delk inside, bounces off Hill, can't score. Rebounded by Brown, spins away from Delk to lead the break. Thompson. Delk has the rebound. Here's Martinez to Prickett. Left hand, got it down.
Great pass from Martinez, taking it inside to Prickett for the little layup as the Wildcats are on a run.
They're within 1 point, 55-54, 10 minutes left. And Thompson with a run out.
The run out is right. He went a long way without putting that ball on the floor.
And he's fouled.
Could end up with a 3-point play opportunity. Hill in deep trouble. Pitching it forward. Here's Craig Brown with a nice bounce pass. Let's see how many steps. Only 2. Great play. Nice play, Brian Thompson. He's excited.
Foul was on Tony Delk of Kentucky, his first, but 8 against the Wildcats. There's Hill with a lane violation. That'll wipe that one off. Dametri Hill with a costly mistake for the Gators.
Thompson only a 52% foul shooter, and he has one taken away from him right there.
Inside the 10-minute mark, Florida leads by 3.
Prickett thinks he has a big advantage inside against Kuzma.
Epps to tie, can't get it. Martinez kept it alive. Spins.
He's on the baseline.
Stepped out of bounds. 11 Kentucky turnovers, 16 committed by the Gators. Kuzma dishes to Hill, knocks Brasso to the court and lays it in. I think that was a right no call. There wasn't much contact.
Very good. A little fake that time by Brasso. Although Hill can probably just knock you down by brushing you.
Looking at you hard.
But not on that play.
Epps still looking for his first tray. Gets it down. And a foul.
Anthony Epps giving the Wildcats a spark coming off the bench. Here's a 4-point play opportunity. He gets open. Prickett with a nice pass out to him. And Epps goes to the floor, gets the foul, and now he's at the foul line.
Dan Cross committing his second foul, and Epps a chance for the 4-point play. The freshman from Lebanon, Kentucky, who has been a key factor in several games for the Wildcats recently.
Travis Ford missed the Tennessee game, and Epps did a nice job in Knoxville. Ford was out for the entire second half of the Georgia game on Sunday, and Epps came in and did a great job there as well.
Missed the free throw on the chance for the 4-point trip. Florida with the ball by 2.
Gators need to slow it down.
Thompson in trouble, got it to Hill. Bodies Prickett and missed it inside. On the floor, picked up by Brown of Florida.
Things are a little frantic right now. Florida needs to take a little clock.
DeClerc double team. Brown off a screen from Hill. Martinez switches. Now the double team as Brown dribbles out of trouble. Cross is double team. He splits defenders, lays it no good off the bottom of the board, but he was fouled.
That was a really good possession for the Florida Gators that time, I think. They have the shot clock down to 8 as Cross goes to the basket for that layup attempt and really did a nice job getting control of the game a little bit again. Here's Cross splitting the double team, taking it inside. Prickett trying to block the shot. Unable to. Hits a little arm, and Cross is going to end up at the foul line.
Walter McCarty for Kentucky replaces Jared Prickett, who just picked up his 3rd foul. And Travis Ford is back playing with 4 fouls. He left the game with 15-11 and returns at the 8:27 mark. Dan Cross ready to shoot his 2nd free throw. He'd have a dozen points if he hits, as Ford tries to engineer the continuance of this comeback. They've gotten close, but never quite over the hump. Florida has never trailed, and they push the lead back to 4. Delk for 3. Got it back. One giant step and had it blocked. Rhodes kept it alive, but numbers for the Gators. Here's Brown. Ford has 4 fouls. He can't do anything as Brown lays it in. Anderson's block made the play.
Big time block by Jason Anderson, throwing that basketball out of there to start the break.
The lead back to 6. Pushing foul away from the action is on Craig Brown, who does a little, no, it's well, Brown did the dance, but DeClerc is called for the foul. And that'll be his 5th.
That's why Brown did the dance. He realized that that was DeClerc's 5th foul, and he's out.
So Andrew DeClerc, who had 20 rebounds in the Gators' 2-point win at Gainesville, fouls out of the game with 7:50 left.
Florida likes to body check those cutters, and DeClerc stepped in front of Delk on that play, ends up with a foul, and he's out.
Replaced by Marty Kuzma. DeClerc at 6'10", Kuzma 6'11". Rhodes front rim on the free throw, no good. The Gators of Florida have taken everything Kentucky has thrown at them so far. Brown trying to exploit Ford, who has 4 fouls, misses the shot. Rhodes picks it up.
That buzz you hear in the background, the Kentucky band is waiting for DeClerc to take a seat.
There's a foul as Rhodes slashes to the basket. Called on the Gators, Dan Cross. That'll be his 3rd.
It's Roger Rhodes with those quick moves to the basket. Cross trying to step in front, can't get the charge.
Rhodes missed the first of a bonus free throw situation a moment ago. Rattled out. He's missed 2 in a row now for the game. He's done a good job overall. And now it's 4 of 7. 7:15 left in the game. Florida still on top. The Gators leading 63. Here's a look at an MCI proof positive replay.
Here you're going to see Roger Rhodes come up with a steal in the corner, go behind his back, and fake Marty Kuzma out of his socks to get the basket. And that's proof positive that Roger Rhodes has NBA, no Harlem Globetrotter type moves, and is an excellent player for the Kentucky Wildcats.
He has 11 points. Tony Delk leads the Wildcats with 12. Game's top scorer. Craig Brown of Florida with 18. Picked off by Riddick. Rhodes. Air ball taken by Kuzma. Here come the Gators. 6:50 showing on the clock and counting.
Gators showing some patience. Shot clock at 10 right now.
Brown taking advantage of Ford's 4 fouls. Has to pass out 1 second on the shot clock. An air ball. That'll be a shot clock violation. Anderson got the shot away but didn't draw iron.
Not what you're looking for in executing your offense late in the ball game, as Florida fails to hit iron on that trip.
Rhodes hits Delk wide open underneath. Great cut by Delk. And then Florida answers, but a shot missed by Anderson. Wildcats get it right back. They got a break on that one. Cross with a takedown for the Gators. Dan Cross of Florida called for the foul, and that's his 4th.
Here's Roderick Rhodes trying to take the ball to the basket. Ford or Cross trying to step in front of him. A little bit disappointed that he didn't get the call on that play. Roderick Rhodes ends up at the foul line.
Rhodes again has hit 4 of 7 at the free throw stripe.
Cross going to get a rest with 4 fouls.
He leaves with 12 points as Rhodes hits the free throw. I was incorrect on Brown's point total, by the way. He has 10. The leaders Hill and Cross with a dozen each. Here's the foul situation. DeClerc has already fouled out. Ford playing with 4 fouls for Kentucky as Rhodes rolls in the second, and suddenly the Florida lead cut to 1. Williams replacing Cross for the Florida Gators at the point guard spot. Now the double team. Anderson feeds it inside and is put in by Hill. Dametri Hill pounds it through. He has 14.
The switch found Travis Delk.
And Rhodes fouled again. Roderick Rhodes is taking over the Kentucky offense, taking it to the basket and drawing the fouls.
On that last trip for Florida, Dametri Hill found Delk in a mismatch, and this time Roderick Rhodes going to the basket. He is such a difficult player to guard because of his outside shooting and his ability to go to the basket with extreme effectiveness.
Patino challenged Rhodes to drive to the basket more early in this season, and it's changed his game around. He hits 2 more free throws, and again, Florida's lead trimmed to 1. Kentucky has never led. Hill dribbles it into front court, and the Gators set it up. Here's Hill, low post over Rhodes, and a foul.
Dametri Hill trying to assert himself inside and take on the scoring load for the Gators.
And Roderick Rhodes, who has led the fight for Kentucky, has 4 fouls now.
Foul trouble becoming a big factor as you see Hill receive the ball right at the basket. He is difficult to guard down low. He's so big.
Misses the first free throw. Dent, Kentucky's inside force, can only watch, although he's suited up tonight. ACL injury on January 4th. Hill hits 1 of 2 at the line, and the Gators lead it by a deuce, 66-64. Dametri has 15 points. Clock approaching 5 minutes. Shot clock to 10. Rhodes finds Ford for 3. And Kentucky has its first lead of the game. Delk with a steal. Rhodes behind the back, up and good.
Timeout, Florida. They need one.
Still haven't called it. And Hill gives Martinez a shove after Martinez is called for the foul.
The official was signaling for a timeout as that play was taking place. Hill down low gets shoved by Martinez. Doesn't appreciate it. But there's considerable discussion underway right now because one of the officials was trying to get a timeout. Lon Kruger was signaling for one. And we will take a timeout and catch our breath with 4:02 left in the game. Kentucky, with a furious comeback, now leads by 3. Time now for the Pizza Hut delivery of the game. Roderick Rhodes of the Kentucky Wildcats really starting to insert himself late in the ball game as he takes the ball toward the basket and finds Travis Ford in the corner, who delivers the lead for the Kentucky Wildcats for the first time tonight with that three-point basket. That's our Pizza Hut delivery of the game.
In his last appearance at Rupp Arena, Ford with 9 points, 2 assists, and Roderick Rhodes 17 now, 14 of those in the second half. Kentucky has gotten 12 points off Florida turnovers in this second half. There's a bodying foul as Prickett tried to set his feet against the heavier Hill. And Patino will go to his bench again as Prickett picks up his 4th foul.
And before we went to the break, you noticed that Hill had gotten fouled, but the timeout had been called by Lon Kruger and the Florida Gators. So no foul shots from that opportunity right before we went to that last break.
Jared Prickett with his 4th foul. He has 12 points and 9 rebounds in the game as Hill rolls in the free throw. 16 points for big Dametri Hill.
He has become the heavy, if you will, for the Kentucky fans with that pushing incident with Martinez a few minutes ago.
Sinks them both. Clutch free throws by Dametri Hill, and the Gators back within 1. Martinez with a high screen for Ford. Launches a 3. Got it.
Unbelievable shot by Travis Ford coming off that screen. A little bit off balance, but he throws it in.
12 points for Travis in his final home game.
The Gators trail by 4 and need a basket on this trip.
Kuzma sets a screen for Brown, but Prickett comes to help. Left Kuzma open, and he's fouled. That'll be a 3-shot attempt for Kuzma at the free throw line.
That is called on Delk, his second.
Jared Prickett trying to hustle back, come up with that defensive play as Kuzma, standing on the NBA line, launches that three-pointer. Doesn't go down, but he's on the foul line for 3. And here's Ford off the dribble, floating a little bit to his right. Drills it. Great shot by Travis Ford.
And now Kuzma with his first free throw. He got it. That foul was on Tony Delk of Kentucky. You see he's a good free throw shooter. Kuzma from Helsinki, Finland. One of the 2 Scandinavians on this Gator team. Number 2, ditto, and 1 more coming. DeClerc is fouled out. Now reduced to leading cheers.
And a great trip for Florida if they can get this third foul shot down.
Missed the third one, rebounded by Rhodes. So Kentucky with the ball up 2 and just over 3 minutes remaining.
Florida still cuts it to 2 on that trip. Really big for them in that situation.
Delk drives on Brown, pulls up his shot home.
Tough shot. Tony Delk going to the corner, drops it in.
And Delk with a steal. Delk flicked the ball away. Prickett picked it up. And now Rhodes for 3. Off the mark. Got it back. Spins and just threw it up there. No good. Kuzma with a rebound. Here come the Gators. Brown lost it. Got it back. And then pitched it out of bounds. 21 turnovers committed by the Gators. And 12 of those in the second half. Kentucky's gotten 23 points off the Gator miscues.
Here's Tony Delk with that pass fake and takes it to the baseline. Beautiful shot in the corner. That little 10-footer gets it down and puts Kentucky up by 4.
Delk from 17.
Roderick Rhodes gets it going for a while, and now Tony Delk has it going for the Wildcats as they lead by 6 now.
That's their biggest lead. Delk has 18 points. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Backcourt trap. Somehow Cross got rid of it.
Very nearly a 10-second violation.
Anderson blocked by Rhodes and taken by Martinez.
With 4 fouls, Roderick Rhodes knocks that one away.
A patented Kentucky comeback. It won't equal the one at LSU, but it'll come close. They were down 19 to Florida in the first half, 10 at intermission. And this perhaps with the Eastern Division title on the line. Delk blocked. Taken by Ford. His runner, with the shot clock expiring, will not go, and the Gators will get it. Ford had no choice other than just to flip it toward the basket with the shot clock ticking down from 1.
The Gators trail by 6 now with just over a minute to play. They have to score this time down.
1 minute left. Kuzma. And a foul. That'll be 5 on Jared Prickett.
Good job by Marty Kuzma to take the ball to the basket. They trail by 6, but they don't have to have the 3-point shot, but they do need points. And Kuzma that time, taking the ball to the basket, draws the foul.
Prickett did a wonderful job for Kentucky to start the second half, especially when he was on the offensive board like a whirlwind. He leaves the game with 12 points and 9 rebounds.
Coach Patino taking advantage of the 1 minute he has to substitute for a fouled out player. Counsels his players a bit, this late game situation.
And Lon Kruger doing the same with his Gators. An unofficial timeout. Looks like Brasso will be the man to come in for Prickett. Our Nationwide Insurance SEC Scholar Athlete of the Week, Scotty Thurman of the top-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. Thurman has a 3.0 grade point average in communications, and the sophomore star of the Razorbacks, Scotty Thurman, our Nationwide SEC Scholar Athlete of the Week. And don't forget, doubleheader this Saturday, Kentucky, South Carolina, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central, followed by Arkansas against Mississippi State. Kuzma will shoot the free throws. Gators within 5. Meanwhile, down in Baton Rouge, LSU bidding for the upset. That would give the winner of this game a chance to at least tie for the SEC championship. And even though Arkansas has beaten both Kentucky and Florida, they would be declared co-champions. Brian Thompson into the game for Florida. Gators have cut the Kentucky lead to 4. 54.7 seconds left. Both teams in the double bonus.
Big foul shots by Kuzma.
Travis Ford receives the pass, pitches to Brasso in the front court. Brasso now trapped and triple teamed, fouled. with 47.2 seconds left.
Florida
commits the foul.
Florida with no choice but to foul right now and hope that Kentucky misses some of these foul shots.
And Jeff Brasso, who scored the winning bucket against Arizona in the Maui tournament in Hawaii, the senior who got a medical red shirt, has withstood 3 knee surgeries, the latest in August of '93, will step to the free throw line with 47.2 seconds left in his final Rupp Arena appearance. Dead center. Missed the second badly. Thompson with a rebound. Kentucky leads by 5.
Florida needs to score, not necessarily a 3.
Hill for 3. Offensive rebound and a follow shot by Thompson, not there. And out of bounds, the Gators will get it back.
Florida must score on this possession to have a chance at winning this ball game.
And Kuzma will make a quick entry, replacing Thompson. 31.3 seconds left. Kentucky leading by 5. Cross looks for help, pitches it to Hill. They try to pick and roll, broken up by Kentucky momentarily. Brown's shot blocked, but a foul, and that could be a 3-shot foul.
It is.
Foul on Kentucky's Brasso, but it means 3 free throws for Craig Brown.
And the last thing you want to do if you're Kentucky is foul them and let them try and score points from the foul line, especially as they're shooting a 3-pointer.
And as you see, Brown superb at the line. He has 10 points. 11 with 2 to shoot.
Opportunity to draw the Gators within 2 points from the foul line.
This has been a tremendous game. Scrapping, scratching. Florida playing a superb first half. Kentucky coming back in the second. 3 free throws bottomed by Craig Brown.
Some late game clutch foul shooting by the Gators, as they have done all year in winning so many close ball games. They do the little things, hit the foul shots, and do the little things right to win.
They've lost only once in games decided by 5 points or less all season. The first was at Vanderbilt on Saturday. Ford to Delk, and now Martinez in front court. He's fouled by Anderson. 16.6 seconds left. 4th foul on Anderson, and it sends another senior to the line, Jamel Martinez, who is an 80% free throw shooter.
Now Florida down by 2 as Martinez goes to the foul line. The seniors count down their final moments as Kentucky Wildcats here at home.
Martinez, like Travis Ford, soon to be married when the season is over, in his final Rupp Arena appearance. That was a big one. One more makes it a 2-possession game. The seniors come to the fore down the stretch for the Wildcats. Cross and Kuzma will come in for the Gators. Kentucky leads by 4, 79-75, with 16.6 seconds to play.
And at this point, Florida really needs a 3-pointer to go down.
Cross can give it to them. It forces it up over Delk. No good. Followed by Thompson, laid in. Timeout, Florida. 6.5 seconds left. Kentucky leads by 2 with 6.5 seconds remaining. We'll be back after these messages from your local SEC station. Here's a look at our BP best players for the game. Dametri Hill of the Florida Gators, 17 points and 5 rebounds. And Tony Delk of Kentucky with 18 points and 8 boards. A close contender, Roderick Rhodes, with 17 points for Kentucky and some good defensive plays. But Hill and Delk are BP best players of the game. Meanwhile, 4 seconds left in Baton Rouge. LSU and Arkansas are tied at 93 each.
Florida breaks the huddle with a lot of quickness on the court. 3 guards and their 2 small forwards out there to try and come up with a steal.
6.5 seconds left in the game. Rhodes gets the inbounds pass, immediately is hacked by Williams. So Roderick Rhodes with 5.3 showing will go to the line for the Wildcats.
If he makes these 2 foul shots, he can all but put this ball game away for Kentucky.
Roderick Rhodes tonight has hit 8 of 11 free throws. It's a 3-point game.
And this one is the big one. This one about puts it away if it goes.
It does not. Cross with a rebound, and the Gators have a chance to tie. Cross with a long 3, no good, and the game's over. Like 2 heavyweight champions, the Gators and the Wildcats slugged it out. Florida had Kentucky down for the count in the first half when they led by 19. The Wildcats had chipped it to 10 by intermission. In the second half, Kentucky kept coming, but Florida took every punch and were still on their feet until Travis Ford in his final home game hit a 3 to put the Wildcats up for good. And Kentucky takes over in the SEC East with a tremendous come-from-behind victory over Florida. The final score, Kentucky 80, Florida 77. So it's down to the final regular season game. Kentucky can wrap up the East with a victory at South Carolina Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern time start. And Arkansas now in overtime. Time at LSU will be battling for the regular season championship as they host Mississippi State. It's been a tremendous game. 2 great college teams, both headed for the NCAA tournament. Kentucky comes from behind to win at 80-77. Tom Hammond for Barry Booker saying so long. You've been watching Jefferson Pilot Sports exclusive coverage of SEC basketball.
Kentucky, the lead in the SEC East was at stake in this one, and Florida controlled much of the game. Rick Patino's squad was down by 19 in the first half, but Travis Ford with a 3-pointer here. Kentucky's first lead of the game, 67-66. Next play, Tony Delk with the steal to Ford, to Rhodes. Behind the back, he goes in for 2. 2-point lead for the Wildcats. Seconds left in the game. The Gators have a chance. Dan Cross, a 3-pointer. It goes over top of everything, and Kentucky wins this one 80-77. Florida 5-32 all-time at Kentucky. Kentucky, their 6th second-half comeback of the year. Digger, we've seen this throughout the year. They like to make the comebacks. But what do you make of these 2 teams? Even with the loss, Florida has to be impressed this year.
Well, Florida does a great job of just maintaining their lead, but what happened when Kentucky starts to hit the threes, especially Ford, they really get into the negative situation because now you can come up and get a key steal out of the press, and this is coming from behind. Tony Delk does a great job of stealing the ball, finds Travis Ford, finds Rodney, bang, and that's where they get you. And I just think that Kentucky right now, knowing how they can't play without the physical inside game, have to rely on the press, have to rely on the threes. And, of course, Florida, these are 2 great tournament teams. It's going to be interesting to see how far they go.
Yeah, very interesting. And, you know, those 2 teams are definitely headed into that field. All right, let's move along now.
To the university and fans to say thank you to the players who will wear a UK uniform in front of the home fans one last time. The tradition continued. The players running through a hoop with their likeness on the front. There was Madisonville native Travis Ford. Jamel Martinez with that unmistakable goatee and warm smile. And the often injured but never out-hustled Jeff Brasso. Rodney Dent was back on the floor for the first time since his season-ending knee injury January 4th. Unfortunately, he wasn't there to play, just to be honored. And Henry Thomas, a gifted player from Clarksville, Tennessee, whose career ended almost as soon as it began at UK with a terrible knee injury. After the long ovation, it was time for my old Kentucky home. The unmistakable voice of Othello Humphrey. And then it was time for the game. After all of that, Alan Cutler will have highlights and post-game comments later in sports. Here now, more from Will Murphy.
It's senior night. It comes every year, but it's special to each team.
I believe in them. I've been a UK fan since back in the 40s.
You hate to lose your your older players for leadership, but they'll be okay.
I think, you're only supposed to be here 4 years. I want to see them go on and do better someplace else.
Every group is something new, you know.
Yeah, these guys are special, though, too.
Oh, sure they are, yeah.
Can you name all 5?
No.
Henry Thomas, Travis Ford, Jeff Russell, Jamel Martinez, and Rodney Dick.
You win. You get to go inside.
We've been with them the whole time. We're seniors, too. So we've been here through it all.
So
it's our last home game ever, too.
And it means a lot to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
We wouldn't miss it for the world. We're going to be sad to see them go.
They definitely mean a whole lot. You can't have guys like Travis Ford and Martinez and Brasso, who's been with the program the whole time, and not for them not to mean a lot, especially the diehard fans.
Typically, when the South comes to play in Kentucky, we give them a snowstorm. That's not fair, is it?
Yes, we've had this is our 3rd one this year. It's been awful.
You don't like this?
No, not at all.
We came down here and got to sit right behind the bench when we got 7 inches right before Christmas. We played San Francisco. It was a good time.
We would do this intentionally. Yeah, see, God loves Kentucky, and so he makes it snow when Florida comes up here. It intimidates the team.
Even if the fans aren't dressed for the weather, they're always ready for the UK blue. Can you name all 5 of the players?
Oh, I probably could.
At Rupp Arena, Will Murphy, 18 News.
Tonight, Jamal Mashburn rented a private plane just to get here tonight because Kentucky means so much for him. He's got a shoot around about noon tomorrow in Dallas. It was really nice to see Mash.
Great. Good evening, everybody. Hey, this is it. Who is the best in the East and the Southeastern Conference, Kentucky or Florida? Now, UK owed Florida for losing to the Gators down south earlier in this season when the Gators pounded Big Blue on the boards. Let's pick it up. Kentucky was for Stunka coming out. They were terrible. Look at Florida, and they couldn't miss. Bingo tops it for 3. It is 15-3. Patino calls time, and then he went nuts when he couldn't get a walking call. Patino will talk about not talking about the refs a little bit later. Look at Jamel Martinez. There's a block right there. They call a foul. This was after one of the Kentucky kids gets hammered, and they didn't get a call. Patino got a technical foul. He says all he did was push some water over. At this point, it is 31-14. Kentucky trails. It was bad. Shot clock winding down. Look at the left-hand pass by Delk. McCarty for 3. 31-17. Look at Anderson. He is an absolute wonderful athlete. Watch him drive. Throw it down. 39-28. Kentucky trails. Travis with the hamstring hits the big 3. It is 44-34. Kentucky trails at the half. Second half. Look at this pass by Rhoda, and look at Jarrett. He played strong in the second half. Made some nice, strong moves. Kentucky again. Look at the run. Look at Roderick. Kentucky trails 49-43. And look at Rod. This is an NBA move. Behind the back. Fakes the pass. Puts it in. Unbelievable shot. 52-55. Cats trail by 3. Jamel. Good pass. Jarrett. Bingo. Cats trail 55-54. Anthony up. This kid has ice in his veins. He missed some shots, but he wouldn't stop shooting. Here's a 3-pointer. Bingo. He got fouled. Missed the free throw. But Kentucky was super tough with the 3 by Epps. Travis, one of the big shots of the game. Kentucky takes the lead for the first time, 67-66. And look at Roderick Rhodes. After the steal by Delk, up to Travis with a pass off the dribble. Look at behind the back move, down the lane, hangs, puts it in, catch up 69-66. Long 3. Travis. Twine time, man, 72-68 Kentucky. Delk, baseline shot, 74-70 Kentucky. 16 seconds left. Martinez ices 2, Cats by 4. 5 seconds left. Rhodes misses the second. Down by 3. Florida has one more shot. Here's Cross, one of the best guards in the league. No, and check out the reaction by the Kentucky players. Look at Jeff Brasso. This is senior night, folks. This was very special. Kentucky goes on to beat Florida in a great game to watch, 80-77.
That was as hard-fought a victory as I think we've had here in Rupp.
Brass, did you have some tears in your eyes after the ball game? Did I see that right, or am I imagining it?
No, I was just happy we won. You know, I didn't want to be the first senior in I don't know how many years to go out with a loss. So it's been a long time. So I was more relieved than anything that we won the game.
And we had a good old-fashioned fight on our hands. Couldn't play at any higher intensity level. Our defense was outstanding in the second half.
How's your leg?
It's very sore right now. But the biggest thing during the game, I had no first step. I couldn't penetrate to the goal, and a lot of times it was there.
You hit a couple big free throws down the stretch.
Yeah. I just walked up to the line, knocked him down. It felt good.
Did you worry at all down 19 in the first half?
Actually, no. I knew we were going to come back for some reason. We've come back from, so many things. We never give up, and, we knew we could play a lot better than what we were playing.
I'm not going to talk about the whistle. It was a tough one for us tonight. It really was. There was a lot of difficult calls for us that did not go our way, but that was their call. They have a right to make it, and I had a right to protest, and I'm going to try to go another 2 years without getting a technical again. Put that crew on the game, and it'll last another game.
Transy was the obvious favorite against.
Then with the Cats up by just one, Travis nailed another tray. This one from way out top, 72-68 Kentucky. Tony Delk hit a couple of big jumpers down the stretch, and Brasso, Martinez, and Rhodes hit big free throws. Kentucky wins 80-77.
We trapped tonight as well as we've ever trapped, because down in Florida, they kept beating our traps off the dribble. And we trapped at all the levels of the floor very well. We trapped at the foul line well. We trapped at the half-court level well. At the other level, that's the best we've trapped in a while. And we made it pay down the stretch. We made a lot of big plays down the stretch, big shots.
And Kentucky now has 30 straight wins on senior night. Arkansas went to overtime.
He has a one-game lead, but they still have to beat South Carolina. From Rupp Arena, Dave Shore. Back to you, Kenny.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Tonight in Baton Rouge, the
finest.
Right in my old Kentucky home.
Big one for the Wildcats, but the night was extra special for 5 Wildcats who will never play in Rupp Arena again.
We leave you tonight with senior night and the playing of My Old Kentucky Home.
Hard times comes a knocking at the door, then my old Kentucky home, good night. Weep no more, my lady, oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home, for away.
30 years ago today, the St. Louis Billikens surprised UK at the old Memorial Coliseum. Tonight at Rupp Arena, the crowd said hello to Florida and goodbye to a group of seniors led by Travis Ford. Jamal Mashburn on hand. He would have been a senior had he stayed. Gators were hot. Dan Cross, the pump fake, got it to go. Florida up by as many as 19 in the first half. Rick is furious. Second half, Travis Ford, the pull-up for 3 and nothing but the bottom of the net. Kentucky's first lead of the game, 67-66. Next play, Tony Delk the steal. He'll find Ford. Ford finds Roderick Rhodes. Kentucky has a 3-point lead. Seconds to go in this one. Gators with a chance to tie. Dan Cross, the three-pointer, not even close. And Kentucky, a close shave, 80-77 the final. Kentucky moves the game up on the Gators in the SEC's Eastern Division. The teams close out the regular season on Saturday. Kentucky will visit South Carolina. Florida will host Tennessee. Missouri hope to continue their perfect